It was Christmas Eve, 1945, in Fayetteville, West Virginia. In the Sodder household, a two-story frame home set against the quiet Appalachian hills, holiday cheer lingered in the air. George and Jenny Sodder, Italian immigrants who had built a life through grit and coal-hauling work, had 10 children. The house was alive with laughter, presents, and plans for the morning's festivities. That night, after 10 p.m., the older boys, John and George Jr., turned in early. Marion, who worked at the local dime store, had brought small gifts, and 5 of the younger children, Maurice, 14, Martha, 12, Louis, 9, Jenny, 8, and Betty, 5, asked to stay up, still mid-celebration, still playing, still very much awake to the magic of the season. Jenny agreed, reminding them to turn off the lights, lock the door, and draw the curtains before going to bed. Around 12:30 a.m., the house S-rhythm took an odd turn. Jenny answered a strange phone call. Laughter and clinking glasses in the background, a woman speaking in a language or tone that didn't fit the hour. The call ended. Silence returned. Then, not long after 1 a.m., the smell of smoke. Jenny jolted from bed. The staircase was swallowing heat. Upstairs bedrooms were becoming unreachable. George rushed out, shouting for his children. 4 made it out: John, George Jr., Marion, and little Sylvia, who had slept with Jenny. But the 5 who had stayed up were trapped, their room cut off by fire. In the frantic chaos, every rescue attempt broke against a wall of impossibility. The family's ladder, always kept propped against the house, was gone. 2 work trucks that had run earlier that day suddenly refused to start. The phone line had been severed, forcing a neighbor to run for help. By the time the local fire crew arrived, hours later, the house was ash. The official story was grim and simple. A tragic fire took the lives of 5 children. But the Sodders could not accept the finality, because the ruins didn't align with the usual aftermath. No remains, no bones, no trace that satisfied their questions, even after sifting and searching. In the days that followed, stories and anomalies surfaced like embers that wouldn't die. There had been strangers in a car watching the children in the weeks before. A salesman had reportedly threatened George after he refused life insurance, warning that his house would go up in smoke and his children would be destroyed because of George's outspoken views on global politics. There were sightings, too. A motel manager claimed to have seen the children on Christmas Day. Another witness said they saw 4 of them in Charleston with adults who spoke Italian. The latter was later found tossed down an embankment. A telephone repairman suggested the lines had been deliberately cut. Days turned to weeks. The family offered a reward, months became years, and the billboards went up. Bold letters along Highway 16 bearing their faces and a plea for truth. The Sodders hired a private investigator. They chased leads from New York to Florida, from rumors to letters, from whispered confessions to photographs mailed in secrecy. 1. Years later, depicting a man who resembled Louis, now grown, with a note suggesting a new life under a different name. Experts debated what fire could and could not do to bone, the heat necessary for complete calcination, the window of time before the fire burned out. Some argued that partial remains should have been found. Others claimed they were missed or mistakenly discarded. Investigations revisited electrical wiring, potential arson, and whether the blaze began on the roof or lower. Theories spiraled: accidental fire, deliberate sabotage, kidnapping cloaked by flame. Through it all, George and Jenny searched. George reportedly excavated the basement and spread soil, hoping to find anything the first searchers had missed. They never stopped asking. In the quiet hours, they replayed the night. The call, the ladder's disappearance, the trucks, the severed lines, the delayed response. Each element, alone, could be coincidence. Together, they felt like a pattern. Decades later, the mystery endures. Did the 5 Sodder children perish that night, their remains lost among the rubble? Or were they taken, their lives rerouted in secrecy, beyond the grasp of official accounts? The case lives on as one of America's most haunting holiday tragedies, not for its spectacle, but for its unanswered questions and a family's refusal to surrender hope. If you find yourself compelled by this story, by the faces on those old billboards, and the persistence of parents who would not give up, help keep the memory and inquiry alive. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. What detail stands out to you, and which theory do you find most convincing? Your engagement fuels future deep dives into mysteries like this, and together, we honor the Sodder family's search for the truth.